I don't think she woke up that day and was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get dog walk today. I don't think that's what really crossed her mind. Hola YouTube and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Beauty by Lenoria, across all my social media platforms. If you would, please go ahead and thumbs up this video. Go ahead and get a conversation started with me in the comment section below. But as you already guessed it, we're going to be talking about reality TV. You know, just some of the stuff I've seen this past week, you know, coming across social media, Baller Alert, you know, Zeus, you know, Bravo, just looking at some of the stuff like, what in the hell are y'all doing and what is going on? We're going to be talking about Joseline's Cabaret Season 2 that's filming here in Atlanta. And we're also going to be talking about this whole sex orgy situation that happened on The Real Housewives of Atlanta with Porsha and the stripper Bolo. So we'll be talking about that. So if you guys are ready, and you know, also I'm gonna be doing my makeup, doing the process too. But if you're ready to go ahead and just have a little chit chat, a little kiki, a little girl what, and talk about a fight that happened, then you guys already know. Let's just keep watching. You might be the one taking me home. One thing really lead to okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my makeup with some of the new products that I got in that I've already unhauled and unboxed for you guys. The new Estee Lauder shade that I got in the shade 4W4. The new Revolution Beauty Hyaluronic Face Essence. The new Revlon Prime Plus. Well, new to me. It's been out for a while. And these two are new to me, but they've been out for a while. The Urban Decay Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray in the Ultra Matte. And their face gripping primer. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Carly Bible eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. We still got a little pollen here in Atlanta, so you get the natural eyes today. So I'm doing a look that's very inducive for dark brown eyes. But before we get into this whole Joseline's Cabaret thing, baby, okay, let me just start out by saying, not necessarily that I'm going to use the Too Faced Shadow Insurance to go ahead and prime my eyes. Not just necessarily saying it was a hot mess. Season 1, I really didn't watch season 1 too much. I didn't get into season 1 too much because to me it was just a little too stupid for me. Like, I think they can do a better job at portraying people of color, Black people, Latinos, people of color in a better light with these shows. It all started out with Flavor of Love, and then you got into I Love New York and Real and Chance, getting the Real Chance at Love, and then that just ballooned out into the Real Housewife franchise and the Love and Hip Hop New York and the Married to Medicine. And you're like, Lynn, you just said Married to Medicine. That's the show that actually shows Black professionals, whether they're doctors, lawyers, dentists, or whatever the case may be, being positive. But that show is ratchet as hell. I don't know too many people, even talking to you guys, I don't know too many people who would actually be in a situation to where every time you're going someplace, specifically speaking in reference to Married to Medicine, I don't know too many of us who would be in a situation where, you know, every time you go to an event or go to a space with people, they're either going to verbally assault each other or physically assault each other. Most of us would be like, nah, I'm too grown and too old for that. I don't want to be in a space where women or guys are sitting there fussing and arguing and cussing at each other. That's not my vibe. That's not my aura. I don't have people like that around me, and I don't want to be in people's space who entertain that in real life. And specifically the whole fighting, physical violence. No, I'm not here for that. I'm too old. I'm too old to be in any type of situation where somebody about to come scrambling across the table, somebody's throwing a drink, a wine bottle, glasses. No. I just think they could do a better job at portraying Black culture accurately, because most Black people and people of color, we're not out here doing ratchet stuff. My nose is still peeling from being sick. My voice is back, thank God. But I just think I'm going to go ahead and go into Cindy to go into the actual crease. But I just really think they could just do a better job when it comes to the representation, because I'm not impressed. And I'm not here for any of that craziness, because it just It just seems like they're pandering into the worst trope when it comes to displaying black and brown people on TV. And in order to still maintain your space from season to season, then you yourself have to become a caricature of what they're expecting to see on TV and what draws in ratings. So they don't want to see you doing better. They don't want to see your family. I'm going into Bear just to go ahead and highlight under the brows just a little bit. And ooh, that's too light. Jesus Christ, that's too light. Okay, I'm gonna go into Chai a little bit on top of it, just to go ahead and tone it down just a little bit. And what you do to one eye, you gotta do to the other eye. So just going in and mixing both on the other side, just to go ahead and set down underneath my actual brows and get a little bit of a better blend. Okay, so that's my gripe, first of all, that y'all got to learn to do better, because this bullshit is ridiculous. Flat out ridiculous. So Joseline's Cabaret Season 2, what made me even decide to even go down this path and even want to talk about it is Season 2. Now, before, I'm going to show you guys the clips of what made me want to talk about this. Maybe you've seen them. Maybe you've laughed at them. Maybe you just thought it was horrific. Maybe you wrote a whole damn paragraph on Instagram once you saw the clip and you saw how people was responding to the clip. Now, I want to go ahead and preface this part of the video out that it is a trigger warning video. If you guys have any issues with rape, molestation, abortions, anything like that, click out of this video. This video is not for you. The clips and things that I'm going to show you guys obviously doesn't show abortions or rape or anything like that. You can't show that here on YouTube anyway, nor would I ever put up a clip of something like that in real life on my social media or here on YouTube. I just wouldn't. But these clips that I'm going to show you guys are the conversation that I want to have with you guys, just simply in reference to what's happening, what's going on, how did we get here? How is this even okay? I'm going to go into the shade Stev just to create just a little bit of darkness out here on the outside, just a little bit. But just to really start to talk about, you know, hey, how did we get here? What's going on? How is this even acceptable within our community as a whole right now? You know, just wanting to just go in here. Disclaimer. None of my conversation, none of my topics, none of my commentary is going to be in reference to any type of medical conditions. If it's a medical condition you're having to where the fetus is not viable, or it could endanger the mom's life, or both lives could be endangered, at that point, you do definitely need to go ahead and talk about having an abortion. If you were raped, molested, or through no fault of your own, or any situation does not matter, you were impregnated against your will through molestation, rape, or just whatever the case may be. You started to do something with the person, then you told them to stop and they didn't stop. Those groups of women are not going to be lumped into what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about today is women, not kids, women 18 and up who are out here fucking and get pregnant and then decide to terminate their pregnancies. Specifically in reference to how I feel in reference to abortion, I don't really care about abortion. It's your life. It's your choice. You got to answer for that. You got to live for that. I know some women have graveyards for vaginas and uteruses, and that's crazy. Once you start talking about you done had 3, 4, and 5 abortions, I'm just like, it's a graveyard, sis. It's a graveyard. You might want to go get on birth control. You might want to start using protection. You might want to go get your tubes tied, cut, or burnt, or just whatever the case may be. But once we get above 3 abortions, sis, it's you. You gotta do better with that. Like, I can't even justify or normalize that, or even start to get into a conversation where I could even feel sympathy for a woman who's had that many abortions and seemingly not slowing down, not learning lessons, not just, you know, just doing things differently. If that makes any sense, if you guys can follow what I'm saying. I will say these shades with Carly Bobble and Anastasia Beverly Hills, they're blending like a dream. I'm not having any problems blending them. They're blending like a dream. And As I need to deepen up and go back in, I'm not getting any type of buffing away of the colors. They're standing strong, and I like that. Anyway, I think it's perfectly fine if you decide you want to have or you need to have an abortion and you are just a few weeks along and you're not at the point of being like 4 and 5 months and now you know the sex of the baby. Because that part of Joseline's cabaret is what prompted me to take the clips, sit down and have this conversation with y'all. Just my point of view. Again, it's just my point of view. I'm just giving commentary on something that I saw out there in the real world. So if you, for whatever reason, are in a situation and you find yourself pregnant and you're 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks along and you decide you don't want to, go to term with the pregnancy and you decide that adoption is not a viable option for you, giving the child to other family members within your actual family, that's not really a viable option for you. I get it to a certain degree. And I also understand that maybe you have other kids or maybe you're on a career path or just whatever the case may be. There are certain things in your life to where having this baby isn't conducive for your lifestyle or it doesn't fit into your lifestyle. Now, I will go ahead and tell your ass that you out here fucking, sis. So if you know a baby isn't conducive to your lifestyle, whether you're in a career, you're in school, or just whatever the case may be, then you're irresponsible as fuck. And your ass should have been out here on some type of birth control. I'm not saying in your 20s and 30s to go get your tubes tied. That's dumb. I'm not saying that. But if you've already had multiple kids and you don't want any more children, I'm not understanding why you hadn't already went ahead and just got your tubes tied. So that way it's not an issue coming up for you in the future with you and your actual mate. That part I don't get. I'm going into my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. I'm going into the black just a little bit. Just to go ahead and add just a little depth out here on the actual outside. But yeah, I'm like, sis, there are other things you could do to better a situation to where you don't have to be caught in this particular situation. Like, I don't get it. And there isn't anything anyone's going to say to me in that regard that'll have me change my mind with that situation. Like, you grown. You know, if you out here having sex unprotected, that there is a real possibility that you could actually have a child. So you're not doing anything to protect that, but you're saying that you're perfectly fine with being out here and aborting a fetus. Sis, that's the you problem. Anyway, I have no real feelings in reference to abortions. I want to go in here and use this shade OA on my lid and just see how it works and how it picks up, how it applies. If I need to wet it, probably need to go in here and wet it a little bit. Anyway, so just, just the whole talking about it phase, I'm just like, sis, I hear and understand what you're saying. God knows I do. I truly do. But at the same time, allow me to say, you got to make better choices and decisions just about what's happening. I mean, there's no such thing as, hey, I just got pregnant on a one-night stand. I don't want to have this. Why are you out here having one-night stands without using protection? See, I have other questions involved. It's just not the actual abortion when it's consensual sex with a grown woman. I have other questions that lead me to be like, okay, so are you telling me that you just out here just being irresponsible? Or I'm not really sure what you want me to do or how you want me to respond in this particular situation. I can't have any type of actual real commentary with you with it because I'm not really understanding the situation as far as irresponsibility is concerned. But one other thing that I will say is once you get past 4 months and you know the sex of the child and you're talking about a late stage abortion, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, having those type of abortions, I definitely think those abortions should be abolished. Outside of, like I was telling you guys, somebody who was raped, someone who was molested, or it's a health situation or whatever the case may be. After that point, sis, you just need to go ahead and have that baby. If you don't fall into those first few categories, you need to just go ahead and have that baby and go ahead and just give the child up for adoption. It's really not going to be that big of a deal. Just go ahead and get that baby up for an adoption. I'm going to go ahead and go into this shade of Arura. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and go into this shade. Now, outside of a late stage abortion, at the end of the day, it's your life, sis. You're the one who has to live that life. You're the one that has to answer for that. That's pretty. You're the one that has to answer for that. No one in your family, none of your friends, no one on the internet has any commentary, because at the end of the day, are we helping you raise this child? Are we helping you with daycare? Are we going to be getting up in the early morning, late at nights when this child is crying, when you may be going through postpartum depression and different things like that? The answer to that question is no. So if we're not here actively helping you, actively be in the village to actively raise that child, none of our commentary in reference to what you're choosing to do in reference to your pregnancy matters. So now that I went ahead and got, the disclaimers out the way before we actually start to go into this video and actually talk about this actual video, now I'm going to go ahead and play this actual clip to you guys. We're going to go ahead and go over the first clip, which is the fact that the backstory, just so you guys know, so you guys won't be as lost as some of us were when we first saw it on social media. Like, it's got to be a backstory to this. What's happening, what's going on. The backstory to it is, she did go ahead and have, a conversation with the girls, just about certain things. And that's another thing I want to say. I know I'm all over the page with this one, but just follow me, girl. Just follow me. I just want to go ahead and have that conversation and let people know everyone is not your friend. Everyone doesn't wish you well, sis. And everyone is not your friend. You definitely need to stop telling unnecessary people your business. This whole conversation and everything that even started and even came up springs from the fact that she willingly told them her business. And I'm just sitting there like, why would you, in any situation, without knowing them from Adam and Eve or anything else, why would you tell a group of women about something so personal and then get offended or upset when they turn around and basically use that against you or make flagrant comments? I'm going to go ahead and play this first clip for you guys so you can see the actual comment when she was talking about her having an abortion. The backstory was she told them about it. Her and the dude, they were having problems. They were breaking up. So she decided, after she had already known the sex of the babies and all of this other stuff, it was at that point, because the relationship was breaking down, that she decided she wanted to go ahead and have an abortion. And that's what caught my attention. Not the breakdown of the relationship, not the not wanting to be a single mom part. There's plenty of women out here being successful and they're a single mom. So, sis, that's not an excuse. That's not going to garner any type of sympathy from me in this situation, because I myself was a single mom. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip for you guys.
I expect you ladies to understand this. You can change your life. And you can get out of the gutter.
Industry.
Are you crying?
I am.
What's going on? Why are you crying?
And it hit home for me. So
Come step up. Come step up. Let me hear you. What happened?
I was saying, the gutter is a rough place,
Okay.
and you got to do everything, any and everything to make it, every situation, including aborting twins, you feel me, to better yourself, because I do want to leave you. But
You just had an abortion? Twins?
twins.
Yeah, double homicide.
Bitch.
No, I'm sorry.
Do it like it's my B-day. That's right. Do it like it's my B-day, baby. Damn, the bitch just got an abortion. And she popping that pussy right in front of my face. I was like, what blood clot gonna come out of there? Bitch, I ain't got no napkins.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this Perfecting and Smoothing Primer over my face just to see if it actually smooths my face out with the actual foundation and how well it adheres with makeup and stuff with my actual face. So that clip, when she was sitting up there explaining, you know, why she was crying and why she was sad, and, you know, just some of the things that was going on and what was actually happening with her. When she was sitting up there crying, one, Joseline looks absolutely gorgeous in that clip. Like, Joseline this season, she looks absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But that's neither here nor there. But when she was sitting up there explaining why she was crying, and she was talking about, you know, the fact that she just aborted twins, I think most people start to feel stronger about abortions when you're talking about not just aborting one child. When somebody comes to you and say, hey, I'm pregnant with twins, I'm pregnant with triplets, I'm pregnant with quads, or you start, it's sticky. So I'm not going to use the Urban Decay gripper with this one because this is super sticky. I will go ahead and spray a little bit of my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Grip and Set Refresh Spray over my face. And that'll help prime all of these other areas. I had already put moisturizer and stuff down, guys. So, anyway, so when she was sitting up there explaining it to Joseline, you know, why she was crying, why she was upset, what was going on, what was happening, I was just like, that's something so personal for a woman to where I, one, have never been in that situation. So I can't really even have a comment in reference to how she felt in that moment to be vulnerable enough to even open up, to even say anything to Joseline in front of the other women. I think she's going to learn. She's young. So I think the lesson that she's learning is that you have to stop assuming that people have your best interest at heart. And unfortunately, she's going to learn that you need to start guarding your personal space and personal conversations when you're talking about certain things. Because people, unfortunately, will use a lot of that stuff against you. It shouldn't be that way, but at the end of the day, it is. And she'll start to learn that maybe, just maybe, I don't really want to, you know, be out here giving this much of myself freely to people who mean me no good. So when she was sitting there having that conversation with Joseline, and she talked about, you know, why she had the abortion, what was happening, what was going on, and the old girl decided to take it upon herself to yell out double homicide in the background. I enjoyed her humor, and when I first heard her say that, I was like, damn, and I just chuckled a little bit, like, what the hell is going on? Why would she be saying this in the open in front of these other girls? And why would old girl in the background feel so comfortable to really come out her mouth and make a comment about, you know, something very serious that this girl just went ahead and, you know, announced to everyone, you know, about, you know, her abortions or whatever. And I was just like, I understand she's young, and I understand sometimes young people, you know, they go through different things to where, you know, they might not always know, understand, or get it. You know, I get that part, guys. But when she yelled out double homicide, I was just like, she's not wrong. She's not wrong by any stretch of the imagination. I don't understand how people could even be offended by her saying something that is 100% true. I think it was the way she said it and the way she did it to where people were just like, that's fucked up. Now, I can definitely go ahead and agree. Her comments and commentary in reference to it was fucked up. It goes back to, for me, it just goes back to that old saying, that my mom used to say and people used to say growing up. If you don't have nothing nice to say, just don't say nothing at all. I think in this particular case, it would have served her better to just keep that comment to herself. But I was just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And then I guess she saw all the backlash and everything, you know, that was happening and that was going on. And, you know, as far as, you know, Joseline going to go talk to her, trying to find out, you know, why would you say that? Why would you make that comment? You know, because that is a very, very hurtful comment to anyone who's in that situation, anyone who's had to go through that situation. That wasn't funny or entertaining to them the way it may have been funny or irritating to the rest of us who were watching it, who've never actually been in that situation, never actually had to go through that situation. It looks weird and off, but it's not. Estee Lauder has a tendency to go ahead and oxidize down a little bit. So I'm not worried about it. As you guys can see, looks weird enough, but it's not. Anyway, so when Joseline was sitting there talking to her, just trying to, you know, understand, and she did, you know, the behind the scenes, the green scene and everything to try to, you know, give a little bit more context to, you know, why she said what she said, you know, why did you feel it was appropriate to even go this particular route with, you know, with the comments or whatever. I'm going to play this clip for y'all so you guys can actually hear her response back to production about why she decided to go that route. I'm going to play the clip.
Who had the comment double homicide?
I did.
This bitch right here.
All right, step to the front. Come here. What?
I mean, I understand you hurt, but we right here in front of Puerto Rican Princess, girl. Be a little stronger than that.
Who are you?
I am Big
What's
Lex.
your story,
I'm
baby?
Big Lex, the
Where
motherfucking
you come from,
flexer.
baby?
That was like you aborted the baby at like 2-3 weeks. You waited until you had 2 fully grown, gender-identified babies in your stomach, and then you decided to abort them. Like, aren't those babies kicking?
Okay, so now that you guys had a chance to actually hear that clip and hear her explanation for it, I know a lot of y'all are going, that is still absolutely absolutely no excuse for that type of behavior. But then again, you also got to remember, these girls put themselves in this position to be on a show, to be judged for everything they do and everything they say. This is you putting yourself in this position. So you can't always get mad when other people don't always think or see things the way you think or see things. Her explanation as far as why she said it and why she felt that way, I definitely thought that she has some growing to do and she has some learning to do in reference to the actual situation, because it'll come a point in time and day when, okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my Pretty Vulgar Cosmetics. This is their Undercover Concealer, and I think it's in the shade for Days. Child, I don't know. Anyway, so I think there'll come a time and day and a point to where as she starts to grow up, she'll start to realize that comments like that don't serve her anything, don't serve her anywhere. I don't have to contour right here because my hair be coming down. It'll be falling down, so I don't have to do all of that. I think as these young ladies grow up in this actual situation, they'll start to really understand how heinous some of this stuff is and how it doesn't serve them any purpose in the actual situation. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. I know Lynn is doing wishful thinking right now, but I'm hoping that at some point in time, these girls will start to come to the realization that they don't have to always be the bad girl. Like, they can actually be nice and have people around them to where it doesn't always have to end this way. Hopefully that's making sense. Kind of like how Dream was on the Bad Girls Club and how she just decided, hey, that she didn't want that to be her life anymore. She didn't want to be known for that type of behavior. So she changed up who and what she was and just started to go a different direction in her life. Hopefully some of these girls on Joseline Cabaret will start to learn that They don't have to do all this for shock value. They don't have to be this type of person. That people can really love you for you and who you are without all this craziness. At the end of the day, I still feel bad for her that, one, that's a comment she had to experience on social media with us reacting to the comment with her. I mean, there were people who were like, man, that's fucked up. You know, that's crazy. Like, y'all got to do a better job at, you know, like, a lot of people were offended that they would even show that and even talk about it and even go that far into it. I know other people was like, hey, she signed up for it. It is what it is. You're not expecting me to be out here feeling sorry for somebody that knew what they were signing up for, signed up for it. And this is what it is. This is what you signed up for. I know a lot of people are like, I can't feel sorry for them in this particular situation because, you know, that's what they signed up for. I don't know what you thought was going to happen or how you thought people was going to respond to it, but this is literally what you signed up for. And for those people that felt that way, I just sincerely hope that they're never in a situation to where they need to be open and vulnerable and people shit on them. I hope they're never in that situation, because until you are in a situation, doesn't matter what it is, and you have to be open and vulnerable, and knowing that people can always just, you know, choose to shit on you for whatever reason, for whatever the reason the case may be. It doesn't matter. It happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why a lot of people don't open up. They don't talk about stuff. They really don't even seek the help that they need in a situation where they should be seeking help because of, you know, what you can go through and experience in these particular situations. I was just like, I hope the young lady who made the double homicide comment, I hope she grows the fuck up and realize sometimes even with people you hate and can't stand, people you're competing against, you got to know where your line is, and you got to know you're not going to cross your own line, and you're not going to punch down, and you're not going to hit below the belt. You've got to figure that out for yourself, and I hope she starts to figure out. I'm using the age rewind, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and this is in the shade Double Golden. Just right here under the eyes, and right here on the forehead. I hope she starts to realize that, you know, she doesn't have to be that person. You don't have to. You don't always have to be the villain in the story. I didn't need a lot of coverage, guys, so that's the reason why I didn't let this sit too long. Obviously, I just used Estee Lauder Double Wear underneath it, so I wasn't going to need a lot of coverage. I just wanted to go in here and just clean up a little bit of that darkness under my eyes. But anyway, back to this little whole Joseline Cabaret thing. I hope the other young lady that had to have the abortions, she obviously needs a little bit of help. I hope she actually reaches out to a therapist, or a therapist reaches out to her. I'm not really sure if Joseline and the whole company would actually go down the route of making sure this young lady had some type of help after this show, because it's clear that her decision on what she had to go through is bothering her. But do I think they'll actually, you know, step in and actually try to help her out with a situation? No. I don't think reality TV actually gives a point to that degree of actually stepping in and trying to help these young girls out. I'm going to go ahead and use my Fenty Beauty in Honey. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Nakia Joy. This is her Velvet Finishing Powder to go ahead and set down the rest of my face. But while I'm doing this, I'm just like, I'm stunned. Now, that was just one part of the fuckery on the show. When I tell you guys just one part of the fuckery on the show that had me stunned, the other part of the fuckery on the show that had me stunned, that I don't think a lot of you guys saw, unless you follow Zeus, or unless you actually watch Joseline's Cabaret, you may not have seen this scene. Trigger warning before I play this scene for you guys. just know this young lady is about to use the N-word while talking to a person of color. So here's
Okay, so what's the problem between y'all?
The problem is I feel like she just don't want to like me so bad that it's like really eating her alive.
Why would I not want to like somebody that's trying to pay my nigga?
May I?
I thought you were saying, may I speak?
Did.
May I?
Well, what
But you...
okay. So you guys went ahead and saw that scene. Now, I thought the same thing that Joseline was thinking. I ain't even gonna lie. I thought she was saying, can she have permission to talk? I didn't know that old girl was going, may I, as in asking permission to go ahead and dog walk this girl. I was not prepared for that scene at all. But then again, when I was sitting there watching that particular scene, I was sitting there like, sis, what did you think was going to happen? At what point in anybody's mind are you going to sit there and use the N-word in front of a black person? Any black person, but especially a black person that you sit here beefing with? Why would you, in all of your Caucasianness, decide that I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to go ahead and use this word? I guess she thought security, the production set, or whatever the case may be, I thought she thought that they was going, you know, really protect her and save her. I thought that, you know, that I think she thought in that setting, in that situation, she was going for the wow factor of now sitting up here, you know, the shock value for TV and for ratings. I think that's what she thought she was doing. I don't think she woke up that day and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get dog walked today. I don't think that's what really crossed her mind. I don't really think that's what she was actually thinking in the actual process. But as you can actually see, one thing I'm gonna say, if you're gonna sit up here and use racial comments, first thing you want to do is protect your goddamn face. Second thing you want to go ahead and do, you want to go ahead and get in a stance to know that, you know, I'm probably about to get dog walked. You know, it's just like everybody else that was sitting there, I think they were all shocked when she sat there and used the N-word. The child was sitting on the table already. She was, okay, so let me tell you something about black people. We ain't got to be standing up to actually dog walk you. I've seen several people do a seated drop kick to somebody's chest, and I've seen a lot of people just completely lunge at somebody's face and or body. Like, okay, black people are a whole nother breed when it comes to you done cross the line and I'm choosing violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't necessarily be like, oh, they're not a threat until they stand up. You be horribly mistaken, and you would be completely wrong if you're waiting on a person of color to stand up for them to actually be a threat. Horribly wrong, and I guess she found out and she learned out the hard way. And as I was sitting up there watching that show, it's nothing else on this brush. I'm just going in and just making sure that all the powder is blended in. When I was watching that scene in the show, you could see the other girl around her. They didn't know what was happening either. So that was a genuine scene of surprise for not only the contestants on the show, but for us as well, watching it and watching it unfold. Now, do I sit there and plan on watching Joseline's Cabaret? No, it's not my cup of tea. For the most part, I don't really get into like shows that, you know, portray violence like that. That's not my cup of tea. I prefer not to be involved with or around anything like that. It's really not my cup of tea. When I was younger, watching all these shows, I used to think it was funny. I used to think it was cute. I never thought it was cool or anything like that. But I did think this crap was funny. As I started to get older, I just started to realize it just couldn't be me, sis. Because some of the comments and conversations y'all be having, they're super disrespectful. And my temper won't allow me to sit there and not wind up in jail, needing to go fund me to bail me out and stuff like that. So I just choose not to be in or around those type of situations. I definitely did want to just come talk to you guys and see, you know, one, did you actually see it? how do you feel in reference to the abortion comment? Then how do you feel in reference to her deciding to sit there and use the N-word in front of old girl like shit was gravy, shit was sweet, like when nothing gonna happen? I just wanted to know, how do you guys feel in reference to watching that whole situation play out? Like, what in the world is happening? Just doing my brows. You guys already know right now I'm on my Morphe kick. So this is the Morphe Micro Brow, and this is in the shade Dark Chocolate. Okay, I think it's in the shade Dark Chocolate. No, it's in the shade Dutch Chocolate. I'm going to speed through this part because it takes just a minute to go in here and get your brows together. Sometimes they don't want to always cooperate. Sometimes they want to be a little difficult. And you got to go in here and get them together, child. So, one brow, come back when the other one's done. Now, the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is going to be this whole situation with Candy and Porsha from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This whole situation with, you know, them going in there and having sex with the stripper Bolo. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that, one, you would think it was okay around these girls who are always coming for you, always talking about you, always telling your business. If you want to go have a threesome with the stripper, go have a threesome with the stripper. You single, like she's already said, she's single. No one actually cares. No one actually cares, sis. If you want to be out here in these streets and you want to, you know, go have yourself a little fun, go have yourself a little fun. No one, absolutely no one cares. The only people who care are the people who don't wish you well at all. I mean, of course, your family's gonna be like, what the hell was you thinking? Not just what the hell was you thinking, but why would you, you know, go that route on national television? I think that's the only time her family would, you know, say something in reference to it. But at this point, she's already pretty much told us who and what she is, and the fact that she doesn't necessarily care about what other people may think or say in reference to anything in reference to her life. And for that, I'm like, sis, I feel you. Live your life. But at the same time, why would you expose your freaky side or whatever the case may be around a bunch of women, one, you know, that don't like you and have never, ever wished you well in any situation? That's the only part I didn't get. That's the only part where I was just sitting up there like, this is stupid. You know, the fact that, you know, she would come out and she'd be like, yeah, she's the one who, you know, did go ahead and, you know, have the little intimate time with Bolo. The rest of us is like, so how was it, sis? I mean, at least come tell us, you know, it was good. He was good. He knew what he was doing. Like, you know, at this point, we just being nosy because, sis, you put it out there. So if you gonna put it out there, we just want to know, sis. That's all. I mean, it ain't like, you know, we about to hop in his DMs to try to see if we can be the next victim on his train. Not necessarily that, but I mean, if you're gonna put it out there, sis, go ahead and talk about it. Like, but then again, you know, it's her prerogative to talk about what she want to talk about. The fact that she had to get into it with Candy in reference to the situation, you know, just about, you know, what she didn't want out there because, you know, what she's doing right now with the whole Black Lives Matter and everything. And just some of the conversations they were having just weren't conduit for what she's doing outside of the actual show. She just didn't want that to be like a part of the show. I can understand and get that to some degree, but to another degree, sis, you put that out there. I understand that they don't have that much control over what production actually decides to put into the final cuts with the actual show. I understand that, but still in the same breath, allow me to say, sis, again, you put that out there. You didn't have to be in any of those situations doing any of those things. That's something that you put out there, sis. So I'm just like, you got to take some type of accountability. It's just not Bravo. It's just not Candy. You know what I'm saying? They can't really put anything out there or chop it up to be super crazy if you didn't put it out there, sis. So when she was sitting up there talking about, you know, Bravo did her wrong, they did her dirty, she had to go back and forth, you know, with some of the things she wanted out there, them getting into it and stuff. One, I don't watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore. Just simply because, again, I just don't have time for that craziness. To me, it's just like, if I'm going to take my time to sit down and watch TV, I don't want to sit down and watch ratchet TV. I'm just not at that point anymore in my life. I do have a brand new one of the e.l.f. This is their Clear Brow and Lash Mascara. I'm going to go ahead and dig in here and use the last little bit of this one that I have. Hopefully I have enough left in here for my brows. I tell you guys all the time, you don't have to go above and beyond to go ahead and get certain products. Some of the cheaper products work just well. That's the empty. I have a new one right here that I can use in the future. So that's not a problem. Okay, so for my lashes, I'm going to go ahead and use these. These are the official Mink lashes. This is their 3-pack. And I'm going to go ahead and use the style Diva. But I'm just sitting up there like, one, Bravo is janky as hell for showing that actual scene that actually happened with them in there, you know, having a threesome with the actual stripper. House of Lashes, Lash Glue, and Clear, you guys already know my favorite. But Bravo was janky as hell for showing the whole little threesome play out the way it actually played out. Or, you know, them just sitting there like, who's having sex with the stripper? Who's in there getting their back beat out by the stripper? I was sitting up here like, I cannot. But yet, there again, it's the reason why I don't watch that. I just choose not to watch ratchet ass TV. Now, in reference to the real world and what's actually happening right now in the actual real world, as far as as far as what's happening right now in the real world, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Morphe Glamour Bronze. And this is in the shade Trailblazer to go in here and add a little bit more color to my actual face. But as far as what's happening in the real world, I know some of you guys had reached out to me about, you know, the whole Derek Chauvin case. You know, the verdict came back, he was guilty. And, you know, the shooting of the 16-year-old, the shooting of, I think the little boy was 14. I don't want to misquote, you know, what was happening when, you know, he either had the gun and threw it or he didn't have the gun, just whatever the case may be. And he still wound up getting shot in the chest. And the 16-year-old, you know, lunging at somebody with a knife and getting shot 4 times in the actual back. While she's doing that, within less than 13 seconds of the officer stepping on scene, he shoots her. You know, I saw it. I heard about it. I'm not necessarily following it. Only because last year doing Black Lives Matter, it took a lot out of me. A lot. And I was depressed for a little while. Just sitting up there just watching, you know, some of that stuff just play itself out. And what I realized is I could still be tapped into Black culture. I could still, you know, do my part as far as what needs to be done to change things and bring things forward. I just don't need to be submersed in it for any of that to make sense as far as anything concerning me is concerned. So I'll donate, I'll go march, I'll go protest, you know, just whatever the case may be, just to make sure, you know, they know, hey, some of the stuff that happens is not okay, and we're just not going to sit here and let it happen. I just don't get too far deep into it as far as what I post on social media or sitting down doing a whole video talking about it. Just because I just want to make sure that I am, one, making sure I am taking care of my mental health and space. And I know last year that really took a really heavy toll on me. So don't be expecting me to come and talk to you guys about, you know, things like that that happen in reference to some of the violence and things that we've seen happening and going on. I just won't be talking about it just simply because mentally I won't be well, and I'll do a whole nother mental checkout if I go too far down that rabbit hole. So it's just, in essence, it's just really about me just protecting my space and my energy in reference to not wanting to have that so far at the forefront. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. I'm going to use the shade Moo as an inner eye highlight and just dragging just a little bit underneath the actual brows, whatever's left over on the brush. I'm not putting anything else down additional on the brush. And now I'll go ahead and wet the brush, and I'll go back in there and pick some up just to go ahead and intensify it. Nothing else on the brush. Just going back in and re-intensifying underneath the highlight. Okay, that was a little too intense right there. Let me go ahead and blend that out. It's a little too intense right there. Just to highlight underneath the actual brows. And now we'll go ahead and drop in the lashes. I love these little lashes. They're not too big, but they do get the job done. Now, as far as blush, while I'm letting that dry down, I probably want to just go ahead and go in here and just put something actually under my actual lash line. That's the actual lashes on. Didn't want anything too big to actually take away from the actual look. But just going in here underneath, I'm going to take a little bit of Bowie, this really, really neutral brown. And then I'm going to take and blend it out with Steve. Okay, so my eyes started watering, so I had to go back in and actually fix underneath my eyes. Per usual, they won't let me be great. But while I'm down here doing this, I'm going to go ahead and put... What do I want to put there? I'm going to go ahead and bring just a little bit of the shimmer into it. And I'm going to go ahead and use Mandala. Okay. So I'm having to wet the brush and go into Mandala to get it on. And then I can go back into my red. And just make sure I didn't lose any of that. I'm going to have to go back into the inner eye in just a moment. It is what it is. Okay, so as far as lips, what do I want to do with lips with this type of look? Do I want to go in there and do that? I do. But before I do that, I want to go in here and take some blush. This is the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted blush, and this is in the shade Charming. I'm going to go ahead and just add just a little bit of color to my cheeks. This is such a pretty blush. That's like a more of a natural blush. If you don't, go ham on it. Like, I like ham blush because, Lynn, she loves her blush. But if you choose not to go ham on it, it's really pretty in the natural a little bit. And I'll go ahead and just throw on just a little bit of highlighter across the face. I'm going to go ahead and use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in this shade Caught in Your Web. Since my eyes are giving off a purple glow and haze, I'll use this. So it's not like super bright highlighting. And I like that. I do have purple highlighters that I could use that would be like super glowing and bright. I don't want that. For this look, I don't want anything that's like too bright, but you guys can see it. Okay, whatever. So for the lips, I'm going to go ahead and go in here. I'm just using a little bit of dark brown liquid lipstick, and I'm pinning it on with a kind of a fluffy brush. So this way I can go in and get the feathered effect with my lipstick. I just went ahead and used that. So I can go in and get like the feathered look of me doing my lipstick without me actually having to waste too much time. And as you guys can already tell, it's a Jeffree Star product. So use any other type of purple magical lip that you may have to actually do this. Again, I'm not buying any new Jeffree Star products, but you know, I am going to go ahead and use the ones that I already have. And now I'm just going in and cleaning up around my lips. Now I'm going to go ahead and try the new Urban Decay All Night Ultra Matte. What is this white stuff on my face? What? Hold up, child. Hold up. What is all of this white stuff all over my face? Dear Jesus, please let this stuff blend out. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw on mascara. You guys already know. It's nothing new with this mascara. I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sky High. And for eyeliner, I'm going to go ahead and use the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner. And this is in the shade Vivid. Okay, so that's the look right now. So what we'll go ahead and go back and do, we'll go ahead and fluff out the hair, put on the outfit, and I'll be back. Okay, so we're having a problem because my eyes won't stop watering, so they keep doing that little weird thing. So I was like, I mean, that is one problem. Well, I went ahead and fixed my nails. I went ahead and put my nails back on. These are the Kiss Voguish Fantasy Lashes. The length is long, and they look like this. If you guys are looking for the little press-on pack, they're like $6.99, $7.99. I've seen them at Walgreens, CVS, and Walmart. I got that from Walmart for like $5.98 or something like that. Favorite lash glue is from Amazon, and this is the Nail Bond, the Super Strong Nail Bond NYK1 Professional Nail Glue that I hauled for you in my Amazon video. Okay, enough of that. Now that we're all fixed and we're not looking all crazy, I typically do my makeup. I don't pick out an outfit and then match my makeup to it for the most part, unless it's an event or something I'm going to and I want to match my makeup to my outfit. Typically, I'll do my makeup first and then just go rummaging through my closet and find something to wear. This shirt is from one of the online boutiques. I'll tell you guys because it's a part of an upcoming try-on haul. Anyway, so this isn't necessarily the shirt that I was thinking that I was going to wear, but this is just what caught my attention. But, you know, again, my makeup won't actually let me be great because it keeps watering and doing stupid stuff. Like right in here is doing like really, really stupid, weird stuff. So to go ahead and fix that, I'm just going to go in with my actual finger and just go across the bottom just a little bit to get it fixed. Just a little bit, not a lot. I'm just using my finger to go back into Jode from Carly Bible. And I'm just rubbing it right here along the actual bottom. To go ahead and fix, you know, how dark it was actually showing up. And, you know, leave it to me to actually go ahead and OD with putting that on under my eyes. I'll fix it. It's not that big of a deal. But I wanted to go in here and fix the problems that I was having under my eyes first. And to go in there and fix that, all I'm going to do is just go in here and just blend out the edges. So it's super bright underneath the actual under eyes. And I'll go back in here and just blend around it. Just marry it down just a little bit. Since my eyes won't stop watering, they won't let me be great. But just because my eyes won't let me be great, don't mean I can't be great. So after that, I wanted to do something to kind of just tie the look into the actual outfit. I'm going into the Juvia's Place, the Tribe by Juvia's. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the greens and actually see just how this would actually play out. Since that inner part of my eye keeps watering anyway, it's not going to let me be great. And at this point, I'm over it. I'm over trying to make it do something that it just doesn't want to do. So it's going to change the look. It's going to give me a completely different look. But I did want to come back on camera and actually do this with you guys versus me just telling you, hey, it didn't work out. Typically how I normally would do anyway. I would come tell you guys, blah, 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 this didn't work out. And then next thing you see me in a video, you see me looking completely different. You're like, man, what is that? What happened? I'm going to use the Kryolan, the Kryolan UV Day Glow Compact Color in the color UV Yellow. It does come off a little bit of green. So it just goes in and just heightens the color a little bit. And then I'll take and I'll just blend this color on through. And I'll go ahead and wipe some of that off. And I'll go back in with the actual green right here. And go back into the lighter green. And now just mash down on top of it to bring more of the actual green out. So it starts to go a little bit more green. It's not as bright green as my actual shirt, but it'll start to bring and blend itself out. After I've done that, I'll go back into the color that we used on our lid, which is Aurora. And I'll just take this and I'll just go back in here and just blend the colors together so they're not so harsh. It's not such a harshness in between the actual colors. And we'll leave it like at that for right now. Going back in here to my brush. Taking any additional product off my brush. And I'm just going in here and just blending it down. Just to taper it a little bit more into my actual eyes. So that'll be the actual look. And since I need to go in here and fix the liner right here. Since at this point, my eyes have watered all of the one out. Okay, so this one is the dry one. I'll go in here and just fix my inner liner right here. So now that we have that on with the actual face, the lips are pretty. Like if you have naturally plump lips or if you have lip injections, then it won't be too much of a problem. But if you don't, if you just have normal, average, everyday lips, they'll start to do that little cracky, creepy thing. And y'all already know I don't like that. But I actually like the lipstick and everything. So I'm just going to go in here and just put a little gloss over top. So it's going to change it to more of like a taupey lip. Yeah, it's going to turn into more like a silver taupey look. So this is going to give you more of a Space Odyssey. This is the JD Glow lip, they lip gloss. And this is in the shade Smitten. So this is from JD Glow. One of my favorites. One of the ones you guys always see me actually use. And then the final thing that I'll go ahead and do, since I went ahead and did something to change the actual eyes, where I had put the purple at, I'm just going to go over that with a blue. That's a little bit like a bluish green, but I don't have a neon green eyeliner. So I'll go ahead and add that to the actual look just to pull it together a little bit more with the actual, the way that shade is reflecting off, the way the color reflects, it matches more with my actual waterline. And because my eyes have been watering, I do have to go back in here and just reapply some of this mascara. And that'll be the actual final look. So here's the look. Here's the actual final look for you guys. With the little making noise earrings that's all over the place. So I went and put them on just to actually match the actual top. But this is the actual look. And I went ahead and just fluffed my hair out into a semi-big fro without me actually going in and actually taking a brush through it. If I take a brush through my hair, it'd be like really big and huge. I still wanted to have just a little bit of definition, but not too much. Anyway, this is the final look. What do you guys think? Are you like, oh, okay, that's different? Again, Lynn always doing something different. Or, Lynn, what the hell? What do you guys think? Just let me know. Okay, guys, so that's the actual final look. Again, any and everything I used on my face will be down in the description below. I'm upset that I had to go in and do so much work fixing stuff, but it's just what happens. I have watery eyes. I already know this. I already know sometimes some of the looks I plan, they go completely different because I have to fix certain things that happen with my watery eyes. It just happens. But I do leave that in the video so that way you guys know how to fix problems when they actually happen. But yeah, Joseline's Cabaret, hot mess. Her with the whole damn double homicide comment. Sis, we gonna need everything that comes to your head, everything that you're feeling when you start to get older, you realize it does not need to come out of your mouth. Is it funny? Yes. Is it dark humor? Yes. Is it offensive to a lot of people? Yes. All of that can be true at the same time. It doesn't necessarily mean it needs to actually come out of your mouth. Stop it, sis. And second video, if you're actually just going to, you know, call somebody a racial slur, maybe not just be sitting there right in front of them. Maybe not be ready to scrap. Maybe don't leave your face unprotected. Maybe be in a mindset that if I say this comment to this other person, I may get dog walked. You know what I'm saying? It's just a thought. And third, if you're single and you want to do what you want to do what you want to do. But if you know you're around girls, specifically Porsha, half of those girls that don't like her have never liked her, have always hated on her from a distance. Even last year when she was protesting, marching with Black Lives Matter and getting locked up, they were still talking shit about her. And I'm like, how your black ass over there talking shit about this girl? And she's actually literally out here marching and protesting. She's giving her time and her energy. She's using her platform to bring awareness to the situation. And all you sitting over here doing is bitching. Kenya. We really talking about Kenya. And I'm just like, I would never engage in sexual promiscuity around bitches that don't like me. And I definitely wouldn't be in a situation to where if it was a camera there or anything like, baby, this ain't OnlyFans. I don't get paid for this. We not finna have no cameras around here. And I'm definitely not finna be out here wilding out, living my best sexual freedom life if you're single around women that don't like you. I don't know. I can't even say this new generation is different because Porsha's around my age. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't get it, sis. I don't get it. But anyway, tell me what you guys think down in the comments. One, did you think that damn double homicide about the girl aborting her twins, did you think that comment was funny? Did you think it was a dark comment? Or was you just sitting there like, what the fuck? Or two, when the old girl decided to call the other girl, use the N-word right in front of her in her face like that, and she said, may I? What was you thinking? Was you thinking like you knew it was gonna go left? Or was you like, I thought she was saying, may I respond or something like that too? I didn't know she was asking like, may I beat this bitch ass? I didn't think that. Or the third thing, when you first heard that two of the women on the Real Housewives of Atlanta had sex with the stripper after his performance, after, you know, Candy's little dungeon thing, after his performance, did you guys think it was Porsha? Were you in your mind thinking it was Porsha? Or where you was like, kind of par for the ball with how she acts and how she behaves? Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, that's the end of the video, guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming back and spending time with me. Thank you so much for continuing to watch me. I don't care if it's in the morning, afternoon, evening, or late at night. I'm just happy that you chose to come back and spend some time with your girl. And as always, thank you, YouTube. And until next time, bye.